Oh no, you!
The sun dipped low in a hazy, green-tinged sky, casting a sickly light over the silent ruins of what had once been a bustling city. Pavement cracked and buckled under vines that pulsed faintly, wrapping around skeletal streetlights like they were reclaiming lost territory. A lone figure strode down the empty street with precise, measured steps. Despite the decay around him, he was immaculate. His black tactical jacket hugged his frame, crisp and clean, as if he'd stepped straight out of a private security briefing instead of the end of the world. His shirt was buttoned to the collar, sleeves rolled to military precision. An old insignia on his shoulder, a faint emblem of his past life in private military work, was barely visible under the layer of dust. He scanned his surroundings, his gaze flicking up to the trees where squirrels huddled in eerie stillness. Their eyes glinted with a dark, intelligent focus, as if they were sizing him up, calculating. He kept moving, boots hitting the cracked pavement with a steady rhythm, his posture unyielding. At an overgrown street corner, he paused, pulling out a worn, dog-eared map. He traced a line along his route, adding a careful X with a black marker. It was a map of danger zones, safe paths, and territories where the mutated creatures lurked. He'd survived this long by treating each step like a mission. "Discipline keeps you alive," he muttered, voice low, almost reverent. A faint rustling nearby drew his attention, and his hand instinctively dropped to his belt where a combat knife hung, sharp and ready. His eyes narrowed as he spotted a figure, a man, or at least what looked like one, stumbling out from a nearby alley, his clothes torn, face pale. The man stopped, meeting his gaze with hollow, red-rimmed eyes. He looked human, but there was something wrong, something broken and hungry in his stare. "You alone?" questioned the military vet. The man nodded, his eyes darting to the trees as if expecting something to leap out at any moment. You haven't heard?" His voice was a dry whisper. "They've released it. The squirrels. They've poisoned the air," stated by the strange man. The sharp-dressed man's jaw tightened, though his face remained impassive. He'd heard rumors, fragments of the truth scattered like ash. The Tree Treaty, a failed attempt to broker peace. A betrayal. A chemical that had changed the very DNA of every living primate, twisting humanity into a shadow of itself. "I know," he replied.